Yeah, it's the 10th Snarky in the Suburbs broadcast. I am so proud of all of us. Me for yakking and you. So proud of you for listening. Okay, we've got a really juicy podcast today. Our Dear Snarky letter is from a bride that wants to know if, she's overreacting or if what's happening with her fiance is a red flag that says run. Well, people, I am just not going to answer this Dear Snarky letter. I'm going to go deep. I mean PhD dissertation level deep on this letter. And I have lots of notes. Lots of notes. So you know it's going to be good. Then I have my peeve / rant is the beauty industry. Y'all, I could go on about this for hours, but yet I've condensed it to a few salient points. Then I have a snarky confession. And the confession from the Snarky Confessional is the last words of wisdom my parents gave me before I walked down the aisle to get married. Just wrapping everything back up to our first Dear Snarky letter. Don't you like that? Tying it in a bow for you. But let's get started with the letter. And it's a long one. Let me pull it up on my phone. Okay, y'all ready? Are you ready? I think you're ready. Let's go. Dear Snarky, I'm a 26-year-old woman and I need your input if I should pause or even end my engagement. I keep on going back and forth on what my decision should be. The red flag that recently emerged is over my future mother-in-law pressuring us to have a huge wedding, the kind of wedding she wished that she had had. My fiance and I had both agreed that we wanted a very intimate, elegant wedding that focused on the closest of friends and family. We are planning a candlelight ceremony followed by a wonderful meal with lots of wine and champagne. Recently, though, my fiance's mother has been relentless in not just pressuring us to have a large wedding, but also, and this is in all caps, people, planning our wedding. Her Machiavellian personality has really come out. She's wreaking havoc on my fiancé by guilt-tripping him by saying that she never got to have her dream wedding because she was pregnant with him and had to have a quickie wedding at the courthouse. And she's always been devastated about it. And now this is her chance to finally plan a wedding that she would have wanted. My fiancé, a very kind person, is caving and has begged me to let his mom plan our wedding because it would mean, quote, so much to her, and saying, I'm not one of these women that is that into the whole bride thing, and then, quote, we were gonna hire a wedding planner, so why just not use my mom? Everything is now all about his mom's feelings, his mom's happiness, and pretty much none of my wedding is about me, the effing bride. A part of me thinks if I put a pause on planning the wedding, this problem may work itself out with my future mother-in-law, that maybe she'll just lose interest. But then another part of me is asking, do I need to run? Sign, conflicted and afraid. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, short answer, girlfriend, run. Run. I mean, I just can't with this letter. I just can't. The sheer audacity, the balls on this mother to think that she's going to make her son's wedding all about her, which is the theme of this podcast. It is. It's not all about you. I want to say unbelievable, but yet it is not unbelievable. She is trying to take her son's wedding, transform it into the wedding she wished she had, and make herself, no doubt, the center of attention at the entire wedding. That's a huge, huge problem. Just on its own. Just even if the mother-in-law was asking to do this, or future mother-in-law, that is a huge, huge problem. But then you add in that her son is caving to this and just like telling his bride, well, it would make my mom happy. It was so important to my mom. This bride is right. He is not thinking about her, the woman he's going to marry. I was about to say betrothed. Is that right? Is that how you say it? Whatever. He is not thinking about the woman that he wants to pledge his life to. Instead, his first priority is his mom. His mom's wants, his mom's needs, his mom's feelings. Y'all, if that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. No, none of this is good. The fact that your future mother-in-law thought that she could insert herself and take over your wedding, red flag. The fact that your fiance is now going to let her or wants to let her and is like so engrossed in his mom's feelings. No. Once you marry someone, your mother, your parents' feelings are secondary to the feelings, the wants and needs, desires of the person you're married to. So, huge problem. And what human being has not gotten over getting married at a courthouse? I mean, I'm saying her son's got to be, at least in his 20s. You had 2 decades to get over it. Who cares? You've moved on from that. You've had so many other life experiences. Plus, if you have not moved over it, then why don't you just have a vow renewal and leave your son and his fiance and their wedding alone? Just throw yourself a vow renewal. Throw yourself an anniversary party. Do that. But no, you're going to jump on. You're going to piggyback. You're going to hijack your son and his bride's wedding. You're going to take it over. You're going to make it about what you want. And then to see absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, what kind of delusional world must one live in to even ask to do that? And then to see nothing wrong with it, to have no shame about what they're doing. So many problems. Absolutely so many problems. So, dear conflicted and confused, or scared and confused, or conflicted and scared, whatever. You need to leave. You think putting a pause is going to change distract your mother-in-law? She's going to see a bright shiny object and go off and worry about that? No. You pause it. She's probably meeting with vendors during the pause. No. This woman's a train wreck and you're not going to stop her. And you need to ask yourself, do I want to marry a man that would put his mother so high above me, the bride, on my special day? That it would be okay. You will never be first in his life, which I would have not just a huge problem, but an insurmountable problem with that. You will never be his number one. His mom will always take precedent over you. And let me just say, I read some scary stuff. So I recently did a Dear Snarky letter. It wasn't a letter. It was about red flags that, you should recognize before you get married. And I had a list of 10. And then I told people in the comments, add yours. Oh my Lord. A couple of people added in the comment sections that on the groom's, on their husband's birthday, they go out with their mom. They don't take their wife. They go to a birthday dinner with their mom because the mom birthed them. So their birthday's really about their mom. Are you kidding me? Then one's about how the husband told his mom everything, even knew the wife's menstrual cycle. The mom was updated on that, updated about what they talked about. I mean, the mom was the confidant. The mom got a debrief every day for her son about everything that was going on in their life. Oh, absolutely not. Y'all, no. Chills just saying that. So there are a lot of problems out there. You don't want to marry this man. You never want to marry somebody that is not going to put you first. And he's showing you that he's not going to do that his mom is more important. And, what else do you need to know? Take off, girl. Take off. Absolutely not. That scares me. You need to update me. Update all of us about what your decision is going to be, because I don't care how much you are in love with this man, how much you think you're in love with this man. You're not going to change him once you get married. That's not going to happen. You're not going to love him out of it. None of that. You're not going to, distract him from his mom. None of that. You can say, well, we can move 3,000 miles away. Hey, I'd be looking over your shoulder because that mom's probably going to follow you. So none of this is going to happen. He's tethered to his mom. His mom likes it that way. And and his mom's going to make sure she's always number one. And I don't even know if you'll be number two. You might be even lower. And to have kids with this man, to procreate with this man, oh, sweetheart, your problems are just beginning if that happens. So that's a no. Don't do it. That's what I think. People in the comments can also say, agree, disagree, but you asked my opinion, and my opinion as a seasoned, older woman who has experienced life. Run, and never look back. Now, moving on from the letter. People, I want to talk about how we came to the species of a mom, a woman with children who is trying to make her son's wedding about her, to totally take it over. And today's your lucky day, because I have compiled a timeline in how this happens. It's a long one, so I have to have a sip of Diet Coke. America's favorite low-calorie beverage. Not sponsored. If only, people. Wait a minute, that wasn't a very good sip. Hang on. Now that was a good sip. Okay. The timeline for mothers making their kids' lives all about them. Start at birth. All the baby first. It's not the baby's first, it's the mom's first. Let's take the whole sleep training thing. Just for the record, full disclosure, I didn't sleep train. No. Did I let my baby cry? I did not. I didn't do any of that. Mainly because I was an older mom, and I thought, I've waited a long time to have a baby. I'm not going to let it scream in its crib. Forget about it. Not happening. So basically, I never got any sleep. But that's okay. Worth it? Worth it. Okay, but the baby's first. All the moms that were so sanctimonious that their baby, slept through the night at, 3 hours old. All that competitive baby first kind of stuff. But it was about them. They're great parents. Look what my kid did. Then, and this is all for kindergartners, okay? Starting the timeline with baby first, and now segueing to preschool activities. Then it was reading. Oh my God, these kids that were reading at 2. And I'm sure people are going to leave comments. My baby was reading at 2. Most aren't. And to make reading competitive, to me, was always very, very concerning. Because it's not about you have a smart baby. It's about you're smart and you taught your baby. Or your baby's, as smart as you. You just made it about you. Then, and this is going to flow all the way through, people. All the way through. I'm going to mention this a couple times. Sports talent. These kids that are in 4-year-old select soccer. I'm serious. There are 4-year-old select soccer teams. It's, all about their athletic talent. And the parents make that all about them. They make it their whole personality. All about them. Now let's go to elementary school. Anything that happens at elementary school, it is not a kid thing. It is the parents' thing. Once again, it is not a kid thing. It's the parents' thing. Any look at me or a parent that makes everything their kid does about them worth their salt is going to be all over that gifted and talented program. They're going to think their kid's gifted and talented. They're going to work their butts off to get their kid a gifted and talented designation, because that's about them. That is about them. They are going to do that. Depends on the school. Sometimes they're successful. Sometimes they're not. I don't know. But, oh my God, the GT moms, Lord help and save me from those mothers. And now we go back to sports talent. Moms take over any sporting event or sporting program. They make it about themselves. They got the t-shirts, they got the decals. It's about them. It's not about the kid, it's about them. Once again, whole entire personality is their child's ability to kick a ball, to hit a ball, to catch a ball. They absorb it. They absorb it like a Borg in Star Trek. Gobble it up and make it about them. And then school events. I'm talking elementary school events from a school party, like a Valentine's Day school party, or the freaking book fair. They take it over. They make it about them. I've seen it. I've lived it. And I'm like, oh my God. You need to step back. Start cultivating a life outside of your child and what your child does. Even just a smidgen. But you need to do it. Then we enter middle school and high school. And once again, sports talent. If their kid can kick, catch, throw, whatever ball, okay, they're going to laser focus on that. And then you've got your ACT and SAT pre-scores, pre-test scores, all that kind of stuff. Mothers, and I say mothers, but I mean parents. I'm not picking on women, but because the bridal letter was about a potential mother-in-law. And it's college insanity. It's pre-college insanity, and it's, from how many AP classes their kids taking to their effing service hours. I'm going to now segue to a small rant about service hours. I knew so many parents that just lied and forged their kids' service hours. I mean, that service hour, it's a scam. It's a scam. I don't think college admission officers, whatever, even look at the service hours because so many are like ridiculous. Where my kids went to school, to be in the National Honor Society, you had to have so many service hours. I can't tell you how many moms just like signed off that their kids did those service hours. I mean, it's an epidemic, the service hours. I mean, they've totally taken something as special as service hours, and they're just degraded them. I don't know. I'll save that for a longer rant, people. Maybe I'll have a spreadsheet. Maybe I will have a spreadsheet about it. It's just crazy. So what kid their college gets into, what kind of scholarships their kids get, it is about them. It is not about the kid. So I had a big problem with that. And you hear this a lot, people, and you may think, quit going to the grocery store, Sherry. We'll still see parents that were so braggy about their kids, I hide from them in the grocery store. Totally will hide from them. God forbid I see them in a restaurant where it's a little bit harder to hide. But it was just so heinous that it's like, I can't experience that parent again. I can't. Like the happiest day of my life, when both my kids graduated high school, is I never have to see some of these parents again. Because they were bad. They were bad. So bad. And then college, and I'm going to speak to what I saw with my daughter. So these girls get into sororities, and the moms think they're in a sorority. They literally think they're in a sorority. They go to the moms' weekends and act like they're 18, you could say, oh, they're living vicariously. They're not just living vicariously through their children. They are like an 18-year-old. It's weird. Someone needs to study it. I'm sure people have. But, just let your kid be in a sorority or whatever, or go to a college weekend and not think that you once again have to absorb it, that you have to become that. Just let your kid have it. Just let your kid have it without you putting your imprint, your stamp, taking it over. What's wrong with that? Why can't you do that? And then, y'all, doing a big full circle, going back to the mother-in-law or potential mother-in-law who thinks that it's A-okay to make her son's wedding about her. That is no problem asking/demanding to make the wedding about her, and that thinks it's fine to guilt trip her son. Beg, guilt trip, just do a whole mind meld so she gets her own way. This is how we get to a woman that would do this. Because it started probably before the child was born. 100%. This is how that happens. I hope you enjoyed my PhD dissertation. No, I'm serious, y'all. If you think about this, you are going to say, you're right. Okay, maybe you won't say that, but maybe you'll say, well, she might have had a point with one or two. And I will take that as a victory. So, there you go. I think I've proven my point sufficiently. I hope you agree. Because everyone goes, what's wrong with people? God, when I get a comment that says what's wrong with people, I'm like, how can you even type a comment that says what's wrong with people? There are so many things wrong with people, okay? I mean, how can you live a life where you don't think you're surprised by what people do? I'm not. I'm just like, God help us all. That's what I'm saying. But to think what's wrong with people, a lot. So quit typing that comment. I mean, I know you type it because you're just aghast and that's like a reflex, but come on. We all know a lot. That's what's wrong with people. A lot. Okay, now, I'm going to have another sip of beverage. I really went in hard on that one. Okay, my peeve/rant. I did start out calling it pet peeve, but God, I hated that. So now it's peeve/rant. And you're thinking, girl, you just did a rant. This is going to be small. It's the beauty industry. Y'all, we have been hoodwinked, and I'm as guilty as the next person. I'll watch some TikTok thing and go, do I need to be doing that? So I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying we need to stand up for ourselves and not fall prey to this. Okay, it's beauty insanity out there. Beauty insanity. Let's just take like the double face wash. Like you need to wash your face twice. If you did it right the first time, why in God's green earth do you need to wash your face twice except to use more product? You know, it's like the whole shampoo thing, lather, rinse, and repeat. Years ago, that was, people just, even your mom would tell you, no, they just want you to use more products, so I have to buy you more stuff. So no, you don't need to double wash your face, okay? And people in the comments will tell me why. All right, bring it. And the whole 12-step skincare routine. Can your skin absorb 12 steps? Or are you just layering goo over goo over goo? I don't get it. These people that go on social media and show like all the different stuff they do, give it a rest. You're putting 12 things on your face and you think your skin's going to absorb it. It's just all laying on top of your face. I don't like it. Then, oh God, y'all, the hair industry is just taken off. We've got the pre-hair oil, which, okay, I tried. I bought that pre-hair oil. I tried it. I did not see any difference. And I used the whole thing up, over time. Didn't want to make a snap judgment. And I didn't see any difference. And when I told my daughter that, she's like, no kidding, Mom. I'm like, oh, well, you were smarter than me. There you go. I've always been big about conditioners and leave-in conditioners, but now we have all these, like a detox conditioning mask for your hair, a strengthening conditioning mask. It's just too much. It's too much, people. Especially, and I'm ashamed of myself, I was a woman that was raised with something called cream rinse. You would shampoo, you had cream rinse, and then cream rinse segued to conditioner. And sometimes I'll just say cream rinse to my daughter because she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, yeah, I meant conditioner. But I just like saying cream rinse. So yeah, and for those of you that remember cream rinse, let's high five. Let's high five each other. That felt good, right? Right? Okay. Yeah, the whole hair stuff, the strengthening spray, which I got, people. I got the strengthening spray. And I love the detangler. I've been using that for a long time. I love like the heat protective stuff. But all this other stuff, no. And then you have the leave-in oil. Like, so you put all this crap on your hair, you make it look pretty, and then you put oil on it. I have fine hair, you can probably tell. I would look like I had dumped my head in a vat of the fry grease at McDonald's. Like, no thank you. No thank you. I don't need that. And then, y'all, this one really gets me. It's all that freaking contouring. It's all like who puts that much makeup on their face to leave the house? It's so much. We all see people in public. We're like, wow, they have a lot of makeup on. It's a ton. I mean, what? You just don't need it. Unless, I don't know, you're going to a fancy dress ball or you're going to do something on TV or whatever. But day in and day out, I don't think you need to wear that much makeup. And the fake freckles, and this has confused me because I see people put freckles on their face and then people now are getting like surgery where they can get freckles. And I'm on Team Freckle. I love freckles. But I'm confused. I'm glad we're embracing freckles. But I'm still confused by this. And the whole liquid blush and the powder blush. I tried the liquid brush because just like all of you, simple-minded, I see something. Oh, I got to try that. I don't know. Not a fan. And then someone said, well, you need to use the liquid blush and then use the powder blush over it. Y'all, no. I'm a cheap girl. I'm not going to spend that much money on a liquid blush and then a powder brush that goes over it. No. And you may be thinking, you sound like an old woman. I'm not. Okay, I am. I am old. But I've tried all this stuff and it's ridiculous. And the thing that just breaks me more than anything, the contouring. Come on. You'd have to be really good and have really good brushes to do all that contouring so when you left the house, you didn't look crazy. You didn't look crazy. And there's this one makeup lady on TikTok, Carmody. She was on, I don't know, that show like on TLC about like how to dress. It will come as soon as I'm done yakking, the podcast is over. I'll think of it. She was a makeup artist and she says, if you're over 50, don't contour. It's absolutely ridiculous. And to that I say, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Bless you. All right. That's it on the rant, but the whole beauty industry stuff. And like I said, I have fallen to it, but y'all, you just don't need all that. You don't need it. You don't. Okay, now my snarky confession. Okay, so talking about weddings, these are the two things my parents told me before I walked down the aisle. My mom first, because I saw her, my dad was the last person I saw, was walking down the aisle towards my husband. So my mom, when she kisses me, she whispers in my ear. She goes, I just want to tell you, Sherry, your in-laws are very afraid of you. And if you're smart, you'll keep it that way. She's like, keep them afraid. Those are the words of wisdom from my mom. And I was like, what the hell? What the hell? But indeed, those were words of wisdom that I lived by for 40 years. I did not do anything to make them not afraid of me. And by afraid, I think my husband's family, they're all just passive aggressive, just so passive aggressive. And then I came in like, I don't know, a cannonball, because I was not raised being passive aggressive. I was raised aggressive. If you have if you're mad at someone, you just say why you're mad at them, and then you're done. It's over. You move on. You resolve it, move on. You don't carry, this passive aggressive crap and pout and have people try to pull it out of you and all that stuff. And don't say what you mean. No. So I think that was indeed scary. Never changed. Maybe I should have. I don't know. Too late now. And then my dad's last words, and the photographer got a picture of this. I think I've shared it. Maybe I shared it, I don't know, on TikTok back in the early days. And it's my dad looking at me, and he looks really just like so ticked off, just angry. But right before I walked down the aisle, right before, my dad looks at me and he says, are you sure you want to do this? We don't have to do this. We could leave right now. I've checked the doors that are open and how we can get out of here the fastest. I'm like, are you kidding me? Those are your encouraging words right before I walk down the aisle to get married? I'm just like, oh my God, and he's checked the doors? I'm surprised he didn't leave the car running. I just looked at him. I go, Dad, start walking, but down the aisle. Oh my God. But it still cracks me up. I guess he was doing his paternal due diligence by letting his daughter know, I got an escape plan. We can leave now. But yeah, that's what I got from my parents. And I love my parents. It wasn't anything smoochy or kissy or huggy or anything like that. It was hard advice. Hard advice before I said I do. So to this day, it's still hilarious. And every time I see that picture of my dad in my wedding book or album or whatever, I crack up. I absolutely crack up. Great picture. Anyways, that's all for the podcast today. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for everyone that, leaving comments, reviews. Love it. Also, y'all, I've written 5 books. Just have 3 here. But they're all fabulous. They're funny. They're easy reads. And by that, I mean fun reads. And if you want to get away from the crazy of life, go get a snarky book. All you have to do, quick way to do it, just go on Amazon, type my name, Sherry Keel, or type Snarky in the Suburbs in the search bar. I got you an ebook, I got you a paperback, and I got you an audiobook. Yeah, I love audiobooks so much. Love them. Okay, you guys go out there and have a great day. And think about that timeline, because I worked on it, people. I worked hard on it. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.